CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Silvana Benelich.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. We begin tonight with the latest on a possible breakthrough in the Middle East, where it's being reported a peace plan has been agreed to. Tonight, in a post on social media site Truth Social, U.S. President Donald Trump announcing that Israel and Hamas have signed off on the first phase of a peace plan. Trump adding, this means all the hostages will be released very soon and Israel will withdraw their troops to an agreed-upon line as the first steps toward a strong, durable, and everlasting peace. Israel and Hamas have separately confirmed the contours of the deal. According to the Associated Press, it calls for Hamas to release all 20 living hostages in the coming days, while the Israeli military will begin a withdrawal from the majority of Gaza. Back here in Canada, a pipeline bringing Alberta crude to the U.S. could once again be a reality. CTV News has confirmed the Keystone XL pipeline was a talking point when Prime Minister Mark Carney and U.S. President Donald Trump met on Tuesday. CTV's Evan Kenny has the details.
The on-again, off-again Keystone XL pipeline project could be a possibility once again.
We're going to be talking about trade. We're going to be talking about a lot of different things.
CTV News has confirmed it was a talking point yesterday when Prime Minister Mark Carney and U.S. President Donald Trump met, according to someone with knowledge of the discussion. It was raised in conversation around linking energy between the two countries and was only in the context of getting relief on steel and aluminum tariffs.
This is an easy way to find common cause.
One economist believes this project could be a uniting point between the two leaders and would give Alberta greater market access.
It's good for the Alberta economy, and the argument that Alberta will make to the rest of Canada is that it's good for the rest of Canada as well, which is why the hope is that the federal government would get behind supporting this.
Alberta invested more than $1 billion in the project under Premier Jason Kenney. Keystone was cancelled shortly after Joe Biden was sworn in as U.S. president, stalled for more than a decade before that.
What are your thoughts on Keystone XL possibly being part of negotiations?
Members of Canada's Conservative Party support its revival.
Any pipeline's a good pipeline, we just need more delivery.
And it appears members of the Liberal Party are also on board.
It certainly warrants exploring, but of course the devil is always in the details on these things, so we'd have to see how it came out of those conversations.
Southbow, a spin-off company from TC Energy, says it's not involved in discussion with either government. However, Southbow is supportive of efforts to find solutions that increase the transportation of Canadian crude oil. We will continue to explore opportunities that leverage our existing corridor with our customers and others in the industry. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton.
A former Edmonton mayor says the upcoming municipal election will be a crucial one in determining the direction of the city. Stephen Mandel served as mayor from 2004 to 2013. As CTV's Amanda Anderson reports, Mandel believes without strong leadership, the city will continue in a downward spiral.
I go downtown and tears come to my eyes to see what a disaster it's become.
A downtown end city, former Mayor Stephen Mandel spent more than a decade trying to shape into a place people wanted to be.
The city seems like it's falling apart, and it's very, very frustrating. We have to start being much more aggressive in cleaning up the city of Edmonton to make it attractive so people come and invest here and want to build a life here.
As the municipal election nears, Mandel has become more vocal about what he believes are the issues plaguing the city.
I think our city's got problems that aren't being coped properly with, and we need people at the helm can do the kind of things and make the kind of changes and include the kind of people to make a difference in the future of our city.
He had a big impact on the city, and he doesn't like the way things are going. And, you know, in some of his comments, he's absolutely right.
Political analyst John Brennan says Mandel's comments also reflect a segment of public opinion.
The majority of Edmontonians feel that the city is on the wrong track. A whole bunch of reasons for that. The increases in property taxes, the whole infill mess in mature neighborhoods, you know, the construction chaos going on in the city, the issues around public safety, crime, and social disorder.
Mandel says the key to moving the city forward is to be creative and develop better partnerships, including with police and the province. He says the city needs a decisive mayor and council that's passionate about improving all areas of the city.
I will say unequivocally, I think this is the worst council we've had in 100 years. Well, there's a couple that I think should be reelected, but for the most part, they've been divisive, destructive, and not very creative in their 4 years.
The politics of this is there's one candidate who's running on a platform of continuity, that things aren't that bad, and there's a number of others who are running on a platform of we need change, it's time for change at City Hall. And they could all split the vote once again, as they did in 2001.
Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
The builder of the Valley Line LRT extension is celebrating a major construction milestone. The Stony Plain Road and 149th Street intersection is now open again. It was partially closed to traffic in mid-August as part of the Valley Line West construction. The city says the reopening comes a week earlier than expected. Today is the third day of a province-wide teachers' strike. Class sizes a sticking point in the standoff between the province and the teachers' union, with the two sides being far apart. CTV's Kevin Green has the details.
Alberta's classrooms are at the heart of the fight, not because they're sitting empty due to the strike, but because they're too full when class is in. But the education minister says setting hard caps on class sizes doesn't work.
The only evidence that we found is that the caps must reduce class sizes beyond a level of 16 or 17 students per classroom to have any kind of measurable effectiveness.
Demetrius Nicolaides says that's unattainable given Alberta's growing population.
My priority is to work on addressing those issues. I want to work on hiring more teachers, hiring more EAs, building more schools so that every student has the best possible conditions that they have to thrive.
But researchers say the evidence and teachers' lived experience tell a different story.
We know that there are studies that have shown that for students, particularly younger students, decreases in class sizes have had a positive impact.
Without class limits, Hamilton notes Alberta is an outlier.
There is no limit on how many students can be in a classroom. We are only one of two provinces that don't have that right now, us and Saskatchewan.
The ATA says for teachers, it's not just a statistic, it's a working condition.
You might have students that are have learning disabilities or other sorts of needs in class. Maybe you only get 15 kids. That allows the teacher time to work with all students in the classroom, and that's really important.
As both sides continue to trade statistics and accusations, class size remains a central issue, keeping teachers off the job and students out of school, with the ATA saying the government's offer to hire 3,000 new teachers doesn't go far enough.
Our teachers voted that down because they said it's not enough.
Reality is now setting in for many people who'd normally be in the classroom. CTV's Connor Hogg spoke with one family that's being hit harder than most.
You must promise to stay here forever. No!
Stephanie and Jeremy LaRose wouldn't ordinarily have this much free time in the middle of the day. Both are missing their regular jobs. Jeremy teaches high school in Vegreville, and Stephanie teaches grade 2 in Sherwood Park.
We are a two-teacher household, so that's no income. Might get some hate for this, but at least if it snowed, I could go and shovel walks.
The LaRoses say they've known this could be coming since March, and their union has told teachers to save a month's income in case. Teachers' strikes in Alberta historically haven't lasted longer than a few weeks.
We get the feeling that the government wants to starve us a bit and hold out.
For us, it's going to be a struggle.
I very much would like to see our kids back in classrooms in the public schools.
Speaking on Alberta Primetime yesterday, the finance minister says his government won't rule out back to work legislation in the coming weeks. A formal lockout goes into effect tomorrow afternoon.
This is a fight worth fighting for our own kids, for the kids that we teach, for our future kids.
If the strike lasts for 2 more weeks, Jeremy says he'll have to start looking for work. The LaRoses say many of their colleagues are in similar situations.
Much like being a teacher and my willingness to do whatever I can for my students, I'll do whatever I can for my family.
I love teaching. I love every student that comes through my classroom. Like they're one of my own. And for some, school is a safe place for them.
The LaRoses say the strike hardship now will be worth it in the end. In Sherwood Park, Connor Hogg, CTV News.
Signatures will start being collected next week on a proposed petition to stop putting public money toward Alberta private schools. The effort was launched by a Calgary teacher, Alicia Taylor. More than $450 million of the provincial education budget is going toward private schools this year. Fewer than 50,000 students attend the independent schools in the province. Taylor says she wants to see if Albertans think that public dollars should only go to public schools.
I was noticing Daniel Smith in a number of interviews saying there was no more money available for public education. And I know that there's a pocket of money that's going to private schools, and I am hoping that we can redivert that to support all students.
A financial officer will have to be appointed to the campaign. The petition will need to get at least 177,000 signatures in 120 days to be put on the ballot. The union representing striking Canada Post employees is meeting with the federal minister in charge of the Crown Corporation tonight. Postal workers walked off the job almost 2 weeks ago after Ottawa announced sweeping changes to services, including the end of door-to-door delivery. Canada Post tabled a new proposal last week, which introduced provisions related to expected job cuts. The union has been taking aim at Purolator, which is 91% owned by Canada Post, picketing outside the courier's locations to draw attention to the issue. The Premier has issued new mandate letters to ministers with healthcare portfolios. That includes primary and preventative health service, hospital and surgical health services, mental health and addiction, and assisted living and social services. Some of the tasks include reducing wait times, transferring non-acute patients out of hospitals, and passing legislation the government says will create more choice when it comes to accessing preventative services and screenings. The outgoing head of the Alberta Medical Association says she doesn't have much confidence in the leadership of the overhauled health system.
I would certainly say that it would be nice not to need 4 mandate letters, that we really should only have one health minister and one mandate letter. And what we are seeing, for instance, is a disconnect, if we take 2 of the pillars, between acute care and assisted living Alberta, where we now have 2 organizations that are going to have different metrics and, that are heavily rely on one another. And so far, we have not seen that happen. We have ALC numbers, particularly in the Edmonton zone, that are enormous. And it's not clear how this system is going to make that better.
The Alberta government moved to break up AHS earlier this year. The BOLO program is taking a new approach as they update their 25 most wanted fugitives across Canada, including one man wanted by Edmonton police. Volunteers dressed up as the 25 most wanted at a news conference, including 30-year-old Syed Osman. Osman facing 2 first-degree murder charges in connection with 2 separate shooting cases. The BOLO program's website has also been updated with the top 25 fugitives' mugshots and now moving using generative AI.
These fugitives, they're among us right now. So we need to give, if we ask people to be on the lookout, it's got to be user-friendly. So we're trying to make this as real as possible.
A $50,000 reward is being offered for Osman's arrest. A local dry cleaner is stepping up to help ensure everyone can keep warm this winter. Paige the Cleaner has taken over this year's Coats for Kids and Families donation drive after the United Way stepped back from the program. They're looking to collect clean, gently used, or new winter wear of all sizes for kids and adults.
Right now, our locations are open for drop-off, so if people do have coats to donate, they can drop them at one of our 2 locations, either Edmonton or St. Albert, but there's going to be lots of other places to drop them.
A list of those drop-off locations will be updated on the company's website. The drive takes place between October 15th and November 30th. Coming up, a cutting-edge heart transplant procedure is performed for the first time in Canada.
So we have to take that heart out and through special techniques preserve it, bring it back, and put it in the person and hope that the heart starts beating.
Also ahead, what your toenails might be able to tell cancer researchers.
Good evening, folks. A little cooler today than yesterday. 23 for the daytime high yesterday. Today, now 17, the official daytime high, but that was just after midnight. The warmest temperatures through this afternoon in the 12-degree range. A short-lived warming trend through Thursday, Friday, and then a big cool down for the weekend. Those details in just a few minutes.
Coming up Thursday on Your Morning Edmonton, we learn about what it takes to train service dogs and how you can help, plus putting together thrifted Halloween costumes.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
A Toronto hospital has performed a transplant using a heart revived after the donor died and the heart stopped beating. CTV's Heather Wright has more on the breakthrough.
Nearly 1 million Canadians are living with heart failure, many waiting for a transplant that may never come.
Many of them never make it to actually get that good news, that phone call that we found a heart for you. So this will provide hope for them that there will be a heart.
That hope is care of a new procedure Dr. Syed Ali Reza Rabi performed in early September at Toronto General Hospital. A heart transplant from a donor whose heart had stopped beating. The first time this cutting-edge procedure has been performed in Canada.
The heart is warm, meaning that it's not cooled to protect it, and it is not getting oxygen or nutrients. So this is a vulnerable time for a heart. So we have to take that heart out and through special techniques, preserve it, bring it back, and put it in the person and hope that the heart starts beating.
Typically, heart donations come from people who are brain dead, but oxygen is still circulating in the body and their organs are still functioning. This procedure, first pioneered in Australia a decade ago, will open the pool of possible donors, and early data suggests the outcomes are similar.
And it looks like there is no difference between the outcome of the hearts of people who've received hearts from a traditional brain dead donor versus circulatory dead donor.
Right now, who is eligible for this procedure depends on where they live, as doctors don't want the donated heart to be outside of the body for more than an hour. But there is hope as new technology becomes available. Hearts will be able to travel anywhere in Canada, saving many more lives. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
The University of Alberta has a new state-of-the-art microscope capable of revealing the smallest details of cells, proteins, and viruses. The $8 million microscope can view molecules just 1/10,000th of a meter in size. Data that once took months or years to analyze can now be processed in a matter of hours.
This isn't just a new piece of infrastructure. It's a game changer that will fundamentally redefine the future of drug discovery and viral research in our province.
The U of A says the microscope will help researchers explore human diseases and create drugs and vaccines to combat them.
Yes, the microscope.
Scientists at the University of Calgary are launching a new study asking participants to donate their toenail clippings. The CTV's Mark Villani reports they're hoping to learn more about the link between radon gas and lung cancer.
Emmy Bossio loves the outdoors, so whether hiking in the mountains or relaxing at the beach, the Calgary woman was always active and healthy.
I ate well, I checked all the chemicals in my cosmetics, I was very conscious about my health.
But a nagging cough wouldn't go away, and doctors noticed something wrong.
I was diagnosed at 47 with lung cancer, having never smoked.
Smoking is the leading cause of lung cancer, but number 2 is radon, an odorless radioactive gas linked to Canada's high uranium levels in soil.
The world's most radon-exposed people on this planet.
So to investigate, scientists at the University of Calgary are analyzing something unusual: toenail clippings. They say when radon is inhaled, it precipitates into solid lead, and toenails are a main place to find it.
Toenails are a very good long-term, what we call biological archive of long-term exposure.
The samples are collected and melted down to measure tiny traces of lead-210, the radioactive byproduct left behind when radon decays in the body.
And that's our clue.
Researchers also tested radon levels in participants' homes and found that higher levels of radioactive lead in toenails matched homes with elevated radon readings.
To use that information to say something about disease or exposure to toxic elements in the environment, That's where I think there's a lot of opportunity.
40 people have had their toenails analyzed so far, but new funding from the Canadian Cancer Society aims to expand the study to 10,000 participants nationwide. Promising news for some lung cancer patients who say this could lead to earlier treatments and screening.
So I think for lung cancer patients being diagnosed, there's hope. And this is one of those things that will help with hope.
And if all goes well, the hope is that a simple toenail test will ultimately save lives.
That's why these studies are so critical.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Welcome back. 17 degrees early this morning, as we said, just after midnight. Then we dropped to 7, and then we got back to 12 in the afternoon. So above average for the morning low, but pretty close to average this afternoon. We'll be above average by a couple of degrees tomorrow, and mainly sunny skies thanks to this high pressure system. It should be about 15, maybe 16 degrees for a high. Friday, lots of sunshine, then a little bit of thin cloud cover and a nice push of warm air out ahead of this low pressure system. That'll have us close to 20 on Friday. Watch this low track off to the northeast, though. That'll bring some rain and then some snow as some colder air gets sucked in out of the north in behind that low pressure system. So I think through the Peace Country, through the mountain parks, foothills, there could actually be a couple centimeters of snow by Sunday midday. We'll also see some flurries or light snow across northern Alberta through Saturday afternoon into Sunday, and even southern Alberta. I think Calgary and areas off to the south could see some snow through the course of the weekend, especially on Sunday. Here in Edmonton, this is Saturday afternoon. It'll start off as a chance of showers in the afternoon and then flip over to a chance of flurries. I don't think we get any accumulating snow, but some light snow possible for Saturday night and early Sunday. Here was today. There's tomorrow. A little bit warmer tomorrow, and then close to 20 on Friday. After that, it gets progressively cooler and cooler. Daytime highs in the 0 to 5 range for Sunday and Monday. About -2 in Edmonton tomorrow morning. Should be in the -1 to -5 range for most of the province. Daytime highs, mid-teens tomorrow. Sunshine for most areas. Mid-teens as well across southern parts of Alberta. And we'll be in the mid-teens here in the city as well. 18 to maybe as warm as 20 on Friday. Then gusty wind for Saturday, Sunday. Cloudy skies, chance of showers Saturday afternoon. Changing over to that chance of flurries for Saturday night and early Sunday. I'm going 3 and 4 for daytime highs Sunday, Monday, although that may be a little optimistic there for Sunday. Should be back into the 10 to 15 range by the middle to the end of next week, though. That is your forecast.
At a time when most trees are losing their colorful leaves, a tree in BC is gaining some color. CTV's Adam Sawatsky explains.
Over and under.
When it comes to tying ties,
once you do this a couple of thousand times,
Bob Lamb doesn't really need a mirror.
You can do it in your sleep.
He first learned when he was little and mastered it after becoming a banker.
Wore a tie every day I worked for 60-odd years.
Bob also wore a tie that day he married his wife, Marnie.
He had to fit into a very conservative business role, but he was secretly a bit of a rebel.
When he wasn't conspiring with his co-workers to wear bow ties every Thursday, which earned him a nickname,
Bob, Bow Tie Bob.
Bob was running the Boston Marathon in a suit and tie.
You can do it the hard way or you can do it the fun way.
When Bob retired, he gifted or donated many of the more than 50 ties he no longer needed, until a flowering tree that was pruned too hard left them with a bunch of bare branches.
So Bob came up with the idea of, let's hang a few ties on it, and then it just kind of blossomed from there.
Although there were few floral print ties in Bob's remaining collection, he and Marnie ensured the tree proliferated with plaids and paisleys and bloomed with bow ties all year round.
So the ties brought it back to life.
But then, thanks to strangers walking by, the tie tree took on a life of its own.
And all of a sudden, ties were appearing. People would stop by, and I would encourage, just add to the collection.
They've ranged from other seniors celebrating retirement to a private school student marking her graduation.
It's been a source of joy just for us, but also people walking by. So I think the tree's happy.
And like this one tie Bob has kept, featuring the lyrics to John Lennon's Imagine, he hopes that all the people will someday join him.
To just share the love and the joy. And
realize that while some may see a tie as constricting, it can also blossom into something uniting. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
And that is our show for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great night.